Join me as we talk all things true crime.
Made contact and shattered.
The missing 4-year-old. The parents have called in and the mother has went for a wall, came home, now they can't find her.
Chad, where are Lori's kids? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
4 were stabbed multiple times and were likely asleep during the attack. Some had defensive wounds.
Most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Once I told a lie, and I told my family, I had to keep lying.
Experiment is a demon.
We haven't cleared anybody.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here for another ATS News live stream. This is our second live stream today. So if you've made it to both of them, thank you so much. Tonight is our weekly Chris Watts case deep dive that we do every Thursday night. Earlier, we talked Wade Wilson. If you guys were interested in watching that replay, it is up and ready to be watched. So tonight, we're just going to talk about an alarming aspect in this case, in my opinion. We just have to highlight these things over and over because a lot of people don't know this. In fact, a lot of people are still under the impression that the mistress didn't even know that she was pregnant and that she thought they were getting divorced. And we know for a fact, due to statements and just evidence, that she very well did know that they were not getting divorced yet and that she was pregnant. Thank you, Valerie, for watching the replay. Hope you had a good day at work. It is wild. It's unbelievable to even hear. I'm glad that you were laughing. So again, I just want to thank the moderators for being here and letting me know that the sound is good. Thank you, Johnny. And for keeping the trolls out, Adrian, thank you very much. Hey, Derek and Florida Bass and everyone else in chat. So as you guys know, hold on, let me just start sharing my screen. As you guys know, a year before the murders took place, it came out through forensic data. Sorry. All right. That it showed evidence that the mistress searched Chris in August 2017 and searched Shanann in September 2017. We also know that in January 2018, the mistress searched Shanann again. And then we find out the night of their last date that they had together, the mistress searches Shanann again. So as much as we've talked about the lazy dog, we've read through the discovery pages about them misplacing or not being able to show the CCTV footage of Chris and Nichol Kessinger there that night on August 11th. If you missed that live stream, you would have to refer to the playlist and find that live stream. But tonight, I think that the main thing that I want to just kind of point out and make sure everybody understands that the night of their last date together, the night that Chris says, I should never have gone to that game or gone to that dinner, I should have gone to the Rockies game, and has expressed deep regret going to the lazy dog with Nichol Kessinger that night, is the same night that Nichol decides, once Chris leaves and is on his way home, the children are being watched by a babysitter. Shanann was in Arizona for her MLM convention. And there's Nichol Kessinger searching Chris through her computer or phone, whatever it was pulled up and proven that she was very curious of Shanann that night after Chris left. So let's just watch a little bit of this. I've got some pages in the discovery I want to pull up and read, and the timeline in the discovery that emphasizes this. I've also got Frank Sr.'s statement about the lazy dog that night and discovering that Chris was cheating. So yeah, just sit back, relax. Also, there is another video that I wanted to share by C-Dub. She's one of our fellow Watts sleuths, I guess you could say. She made a video while I believe she is a local in Colorado, highlighting the different lazy dogs. So as you guys know, they go to one lazy dog. Nichol says she didn't like that menu. So she decides that they're going to drive to another lazy dog and go to that one. And everyone's like, why would they go to two lazy dogs? It just didn't make sense. But the big question is how she came across him. I think maybe mutual friends on Facebook, and she just stalks people's profiles in general. So crazy. Yeah, perhaps. What's the motive? She claims that she didn't have social media. So how is all this even happening? Saffron, I mean, she reminds a lot of people of one of his followers, Manson followers. Watts was attending the Frederick Recreation Center in August 2017, according to Nick Thayer. Why search them a year in advance? Were they targeted a year before the crime occurred? I think that it's very likely it could be something like that. Yeah, major stalker vibes with NK. Just the scariest, creepiest mistress. Hi, Melly. Yes, hit that like button if you guys haven't done so. And this is an old video that I made, and we're just going to use it as reference because it's got good information in it. Deidre, thank you so much. Enjoy your videos a lot. Keep it up. Thank you. So next week will be the last week for a Watts live stream until I come back from maternity leave. So I don't know how long I'll be stepping away, but I will need to. So hopefully you guys are all here and when I come back, because we'll just pick up right where we left off.
Hi.
Would it be Monday? I saw him on Saturday. That was last.
Again, this was before I got kind of better at editing skills. You can tell the difference. And this audio is the hidden audio and microphone in the FBI agent's jacket or whatever he was hiding it in. And so it's a little bit fuzzy, but bear with me because it'll clear up.
Okay. And then can you walk me through that on Saturday? Like, what you guys meet, what was that?
So when we spent time together, I didn't really go to his house. We would spend time at my house.
And there's, one of the first lies. She says that, the lazy dog was one of the first dates that they ever went out in public with, and that she spent the majority of her time with him at her house. And we all end up finding out that no, actually your phone is pinging at their house, at his house. Yeah, their house. It's Shanann's house too. So that's quite troubling.
He went out to dinner. That's what we did. He said he had a babysitter. We had to wait for the babysitter. And we met up. I don't even know what time he came over. Probably 5 or 6. And we tried to go to a restaurant down the street from my house, but I didn't like the menu. So we left, and then we went to another one off of 144th. It's called the Lazy Dog. And we went up there, and we had dinner. And then he came back to my house and hung out with me for probably
Yeah, and that's the thing is she felt very comfortable lying in this first interview with FBI. This is all before they find out where the bodies are. So it seems as though it was very much her not wanting to tell the full truth at this moment. And why exactly. So this just gives you a little bit of a map to show you where the lazy dog is in reference to her place, etc. And thank you everyone for being here. I see everyone in chat. If I don't say your name, we're just going through some stuff.
15 minutes, and then he left because he said he had to go relieve the babysitter. So he stayed.
And that was Saturday?
That was Saturday. That's the last time I saw him.
Okay. And did you guys, was there anything else that you did? Was it just dinner? Did you go anyplace else? Did you visit any other?
No, we just went to dinner. That's one of the only times I've actually ever been out in public with him. But yeah, just dinner. Yeah.
And so for the most time in the past, whenever you guys were together, was at your house, or was it like, going out somewhere?
Typically not. I mean, we've done a few things, but not.
And on Saturday, do you remember what the time frame was?
I think it was probably like 5 to 10-ish, somewhere around there. And I don't even think it was 10. We had to be back by 10. So I think it was a little bit before that. I think it was like 9:30. It was somewhere in there. And I remember it might have been like a little after 5 too. All I know is the babysitter was going to get there around that time, and he had to be back before 10. So give or take drive time, sometime in that 5-hour window.
And when he came to your house, I'm assuming he picked you up at your house?
I don't really like ride in his car. I've been in that white car they have once, but other than that, we take my truck everywhere. Always.
When he came to your house, what vehicle was he driving?
I didn't even pay attention to that, but probably his. I don't think he really takes that APC truck anywhere when he doesn't have to.
Okay, so usually when he comes see you, he'd be with the white vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you guys went out, did you take your vehicle to go wherever you were going?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you had dinner. Was there anything else? Any other discussion about anything?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Nothing ordinary. Did you talk about anything about his relationship with his wife? That come up? Nothing? No.
I mean, I've been helping him trying to find a new spot. So I'm sure we talked about hey, because I know we were trying to set up a time this week to go have him. He was looking for a 2-bedroom apartment. He wanted to get an apartment that was for him and his girls. And so sometimes, we talk about that recently because he's just I got to find a place. We were supposed to go look at some stuff this week. Saturday, we went.
Sorry, I just have to pause it right here. I was looking for this photo, and it's from the same photo shoot that she did with the Denver Post when she finally came out to public. I was looking for this photo, and I swear I can't find it anywhere on Google. She just looks so creepy, so evil. I wonder if it purposely has been stripped from the internet, because we know that she'd done that with a lot of different cases. Her criminal record, her own social media, her LinkedIn, her Instagram, everything she really tried to remove.
What's the name of that bar that we used to go to? It's not the same, the Lazy Dog, but it's the one off of 144th and 925. I think it's 144th up there.
And it's the Lazy Dog?
Yes.
Did he ever mention a Rockies game that night?
No, I don't think so. But the Broncos were playing.
Okay.
Which we couldn't see because they sat us in really crappy spots. That's okay because it's preseason. But
so do you recall what time you went there?
No, I remember. Well, kind of. So he had to get a babysitter that night.
Do you know who that was?
Somebody who's really young. I remember I asked him who his babysitter was, and he's like, "We have 2. This girl's only 17, but the other one's out of town, so this girl's gonna stay." And she doesn't do overnights, so I gotta be back by 10. And I remember her saying that, and him saying that. And I don't know what time he got to my house. It was between, I want to say 5:30. It might have been 5, but I don't think so. Because I think the babysitter, if I remember correctly, showed up at 4:30 or something. And he was like, I want to spend time getting my kids acclimated to her, and then I will come.
So his children didn't even know her?
Oh, no, they knew her, but he was saying he likes to stay there for a little while he doesn't just like walk out the door when they show up. It's like a transitional thing. And so that's why I'm saying I don't know how long it was. I want to say like 5:30, and then he had to be back by 10. So he left at like 9 something to be back by 10.
So he picked you up? What was he driving?
No, he didn't pick me up. He came to my house. We drove my truck.
Okay. So he gets to your house. You know what he was driving to get to your house?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
And how do you not remember what somebody's driving? Like, such a weird detail to just be like, oh, I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure he usually drives that Lexus, but he doesn't always park it in my complex because the parking, there's not good spaces. So where you guys pick me up at, a lot of times they'll just park out there because there's room.
Okay.
So that kind of works so that because there's just not a lot of room in my apartment complex. But off the top of my head, I don't know what he was driving.
What kind of truck do you drive?
I drive a Toyota 4Runner.
Okay. So you guys take your 4Runner to the Lazy Dog.
Yep.
And you said they sat you in crappy locations.
It's just
where were you inside?
When you walk in, you just hang a right, and we were like one of the first 2 booths on the right when you walk in the door. It's just not it's a good spot, but just not for the TVs. And we actually went to the other Lazy Dog. We went to the one that you and me go to. Where's that at? Federal and
20th.
It's 120th and Federal, and we went there, and they have a different menu, and I was like, I don't want to eat this food. So we should go to the other one.
So initially you go to the 120th location. Did you actually get...
I don't want to eat this food. So we went to the other one. There is another reason, and hello, James, and everyone else who joined. There is another reason why they left that Lazy Dog. And a lot of people have different theories. A lot of people think they were meeting other people out, and there's miscommunication, and some people went to the wrong one, so they had to meet up again at a different one. Other people think that they ran into people they might have known, like that knew Shanann, so they left and went to this different one. A lot of different theories. Valerie said the people she was meeting weren't there, I think. I definitely think that could be it. I don't think it had much to do with being worried about being seen in public because of people knowing Shanann, but who knows?
Seated?
Kind of, sort of. They were like cleaning off a table, and we were standing there just kind of looking at the beer menu and the food menu, and I was like, I don't want this. And so we left.
6 o'clock?
Probably somewhere around there, 6:30, and then we left and went to the other one, and we ate dinner.
All right. And you're in the first or second booth, right to the right of the door. I'm just asking because if they have video, we want to be able to verify that, so that's why it's important. And you're there for how long?
I don't know. Probably we didn't stay for dessert, so I don't know. How long's the restaurant take? Like an hour and a half?
I've never been to the Lazy Dog.
I don't know. Probably about an hour and a half, and then we went back to my house for a little bit. Hung out at my house for a little while, and then he had to leave, and then he left.
Do you recall what time you left?
Off the top of my head, no. I remember he was like gonna be late to be back at 10. I think there's a text message where he starts texting me when he's home at his house.
Okay.
So you can probably figure that out.
Yes, Holly, that would be amazing. She said, I would love to hear from the waitress. And the problem is, we read through, like I said, you'd have to reference the Lazy Dog live stream we did months ago. They couldn't even find the receipt, which through experience, Holly, and people who work in the industry know, the server's name is always on like the credit card receipt, etc. Hello, Roxanne. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Leave Jim alone. Immediately searches for Jim. That's what they should have done. Exactly. And who knows, maybe they did. And that's stuff that's just been hidden away, like multiple things in this case. I think the Lazy Dog employees have a gag order on them by law enforcement in Rourke. I could see that. I also believe Nate, the neighbor, has some sort of limitations as well.
And I remember I texted him back and I was like, damn, that was quick. Or wow, that was really quick. He's like, yeah, I even had time to stop at the ATM or stop at the gas station, stop somewhere to get money to pay the babysitter.
Okay.
And I was just like thinking like, well, that was really fast. But I think he was still like a little late coming back, but nothing too drastic. So he probably left my house like somewhere around 9:30ish.
Saturday during your dinner, what kind of conversation did you guys have?
I don't even remember. So he's been trying to like eat a little healthier than he normally does. And he's always like been in the working out since I knew him. And he like tries to eat clean, but he was trying to like step it up a little bit. And nothing like the people who do like the competitions and the shows that are all super restrictive. I mean, it was nothing like that. It's just like day-to-day general maintenance. But it's how I eat, and it's pretty healthy. And he's been losing a lot of weight. He lost, I want to say like 13 pounds in the time that we were hanging out. And honestly, when you start eating a little bit cleaner and you start working out a little bit harder, the first couple months, especially for a man, because they lose weight faster, it's not something that's like that drastic to me, but it did stand out that it was like a little much. And so I was like, whoa, like maybe.
I agree, Beach Bum. The weight loss is interesting. Look at, as much as I don't want to, look at the physique here. Here comes the macro talk, right? Thank you, Jay, and welcome to the new members. Jay's in chat if you guys got one, if you want to throw him a thank you. So there's a picture of him at the beach in North Carolina with his kids, and he looks so emaciated. And that was only like a week, maybe a week and a half after this sand dune trip. So from the sand dunes to beach time, in my opinion, there is sort of a significant change in his muscle mass. He looks like he was using drugs, in my opinion, when he's at the beach being recorded. I don't know. Again, we don't have any toxicology from him. Nothing to really say that he was using drugs, but people have their theories. Yeah, he looked sickly.
Maybe you're not eating enough macronutrients, so let me look at them. So he had been working on his MyFitnessPal app and like programming like all the stuff he eats, and I just started going through them, and I was like trying to figure out like where his ratios were. And we actually spent a lot of time doing that because he'd asked me to do it for him, because I just was at the point where I was like, if his weight loss slows down in a few weeks, he'll be fine. And if it doesn't, then his macros are a little off. It's not like that big of a deal, like in the workout community. This is like a very normal thing. But
Did you have any other outside concerns, like potential drug use, alcohol use, any of that stuff that led you to go, hey, he's lost an extreme amount of weight in such a short period of time?
No, and I wouldn't call it extreme. It was just like, it was a lot. But I mean, when I first started working out, I dropped like 12 pounds in 2 weeks when I first started like hitting it hard with the diet. So the fact that he lost like that much weight, it wasn't, like I said, it was not a surprising amount. I just didn't want it to be like a sustained amount. But no, I didn't think anything weird of it, just because of like how knitted I am with the like workout community. And I know like this is possible, but it just, the thing that concerned me about it, I guess, and it wasn't even concerned, but the thing that like kind of red lighted me like, hey, this might be carrying on, is the fact that his macros were like pretty dialed in. Like I wrote them and he like didn't stay exactly on them, but his calorie intake was about where it needed to be, my experience anyways, for like what he was trying to achieve. And so I don't.
Did you guys hear that drawn out what he was trying to achieve? Like, hold on. What?
It needed to be, my experience anyways, for like what he was trying to achieve. And so I don't know, he didn't seem to have a problem with it. he liked where he was at with all of that.
So that was your main conversation Saturday?
That was like a big chunk while we were there, is like us actually going through, because I was like going through each item, like, why are your ratios off?
Did you know where his kids or wife were that night?
On Saturday?
Yeah, his kid. Well, his kids are with the babysitter. Do you know where his wife is?
She's in Arizona.
Okay. How do you know that?
Because he told me.
Okay. Do you know what she's doing there?
I think she's on a business trip. He didn't even tell me right away. He actually told me, I think, like on Saturday or something. It might have been like Friday or something. I honestly don't remember. I just remember I was like really surprised where he's like, hey, like, I'm going to try to get a babysitter if you want to hang out or something like that. And I was like, why do you need a babysitter? Like, your wife's home. He's like, no, she's out of town. I was like, oh, okay.
Is there much conversation regarding that, her being on a trip, or the children during those conversations?
Not really. I just asked him what time she was coming home on Sunday, and he just said really late.
Okay.
And that was it. I mean,
And here, I mean, just listen to her openly admitting to the CBI agent. I mean, I just asked him like what time she was coming home on Sunday, and he told me really late. And then Kobach says, okay. Why didn't Kobach say, like, why were you so interested in what time Shanann got home? You know what I mean? Like, these are just the things that I feel show circumstantially that she was given some sort of immunity. Like, he should have pressed her on, like, why were you interested in what time his wife got home? I mean, she went missing, quote unquote missing. She, is murdered a couple hours after returning home. And the mistress is openly admitting to the CBI agent that she asked Chris what time she would be home. It's just things like that just stand out. It's like, why she's so interested in knowing that. Oh, well, then what do you know? A couple hours later, she's dead. I can't let go of it. Oh, Melanie, you did? Okay, I will let you know when I do. Sent like through Facebook Messenger or TikTok. Thank you, Derek, for gifting memberships. Appreciate that. Thanks, guys. And if you guys got a membership, welcome. Appreciate you guys being here. And Derek is in chat if you wanted to thank him. Oh, Cash App. Thank you, Melanie. I appreciate that. I really do.
there's nothing really to talk about with that.
So your conversation's mainly health related. You guys return to your house and then he goes home, and then you talk to him for a few hours on Sunday. We talked about this prior, and let's just revisit it. You guys never really went out on a date per se, with the exception of this Saturday night on the 11th. Usually you guys spent time at your home versus going out, unless I'm mistaken on what you're saying.
Hey, Mark.
You are.
Okay.
So we on most nights.
And you hear in this phone interview, Kobach just repeated exactly what she told the FBI agent, that they didn't spend time at Chris's house, and the majority of the time they spent together was at her house. And he's like, is that correct? And she's like, like says that he's not right. It's like, he's just referencing what you told the FBI agent. So how is it not right? Because now at this point, she's got to make sure that she's telling the truth, because once you're given immunity, if you're caught in a lie, then you're screwed.
This Saturday night on the 11th. Usually you guys spent time at your home versus going out, unless I'm mistaken on what you're saying.
You are.
Okay.
So we on most nights would hang out at my house, but we went out a few times. I have dates for everything, and
okay.
I can give you that once I'm done with this.
So Saturday would have
this
been.
Is Saturday, the 11th of August.
Okay.
Was that the 11th?
Yep.
Okay. This is the night that we attempted to go to the Lazy Dog on 120th and Federal, and we walked in, and I looked at their menu. They like tried to feed us, and I looked at their menu, and I was like, I'm not eating here.
Right.
And because so we went to the other Lazy Dog, which is actually owned by somebody else, so they have a different menu. So we went to the Lazy Dog off of, I think it's 144th that I told you guys, and we sat down and we ate, and
It's on Highway 7, right?
What's up?
Is it on Highway 7?
Yes, Amanda, I agree. MK strikes me as the type of woman who would get an adrenaline rush from being in Shanann's house while she's not home and taking advantage of it with Chris, if you know what I mean. Oh, yeah, they definitely had sex in their marital bed, in my opinion. Let me know if you guys agree.
I don't think so. It's on I-25 and like 144th.
Okay.
I mean, I can look it up.
No, that's okay.
Screenshot it.
I think there's two of them, and I think there was some confusion. One of our guys went, and I just want to make sure he went to the right one. I don't know the Lazy Dog, but I'll ask him tomorrow. 144th is right by Highway 7.
Okay, well, I don't know that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had never been to that one. So I think it's 144th. It might be 136th. I will look it up tonight, and I will screenshot you the address, and I will send it so that you guys, if you guys need to pull those videos, you can find it.
Melanie, that was too generous and kind. Thank you. I just checked. I really appreciate you. And yes, welcome to the new members. I just saw Zawoki come in. If you guys aren't subscribed and you like Watts material, definitely check him out. Thank you for gifting 5 memberships, Zawoki. I really appreciate you. And well done on your channel and your research also. Oh, 5 more. Thank you very much. And welcome to all the new members. Hello, Zoe, and everyone else who joined. Appreciate you guys being here. So that was sort of her little clip speaking about their date that they had. Now, the whole point of going over that is to kind of lay out the picture of their last date together. I guess I should say, because I think they definitely spent time together in person after that, even though she says they didn't. And kind of emphasize, he goes home, relieves the babysitter, and she's searching Shanann on the internet after they were intimate twice, if I'm not mistaken, which we will read through right now through the Discoveries timeline. August 11th, Shanann sent a text message to Watts. Good morning, baby. Are the girls up? Watts replied, good morning. They were watching cartoons in bed. Shanann described the thunderstorms the night before in Arizona. So we've read through this in the last live stream we did about the Lazy Dog. So I am going to skip down to just a little bit down in the timeline. Watch search Google for trails and hot springs near Aspen. Watch told Shanann, Jen, McKenna, and Kylie coming to watch the girls for a few hours while I go to that Rockies game. So this is an infamous Rockies game that he lied about going to. He said that he wished he did go and that he should have never gone to the Lazy Dog. Shanann asked him to ensure that they don't feed Celeste anything she can't eat. She also asked Watts, this is very interesting, will you lock my office? Watts replied, definitely. So what do you guys think the locking of the office was about? Obviously, something is important in there that she doesn't want the babysitters or anyone to kind of see and go through. I've kind of gone back and forth about it. I'm wondering, because we know that they withdrew from Chris's 401k, I believe it was 10 grand. Maybe there was cash or something in the office. I don't know. So then it says, watch search Google for Toyota dealerships nearby. Now it goes down to 9:30. And this is straight up typed out by CBI. In anticipation for her evening with Watts, Kessinger spent 45 minutes searching Google on topics like how to prepare for anal sex and the anal sex guide. This progressed to searches at Pornhub. for interracial porn videos and threesomes with double penetration. This was by no means the only time she sought out pornographic videos via the internet. I think that just kind of speaks for itself. We've kind of gone over all that before. Shanann asked what time Watts was leaving for the game. He replied 16:30 and 1700 hours. Watts called a local Papa John's pizza store. Shanann asked McKenna, who's the babysitter, "Hey, love, this is Shanann. How are the girls?" McKenna replied, "They are doing great. Celeste ate 3 pieces of pizza." Shanann thanked McKenna for watching the girls and asked if she needs anything, just ask. In contrast, Watts never checked in with McKenna to see how the girls were doing or whether McKenna needed anything. I think we can all figure out why. Quite busy with Nichol Kessinger. Watch search Google for lazy dog on 120th Avenue. Watch search Google for restaurants near 120th Avenue to include Rusty Bucket. So why were they looking into the Rusty Bucket? Shanann asked McKenna if the girls went to bed yet. McKenna replied, "They are still awake. They're just watching TV and they said they don't want to go to bed yet." Shanann advised, "I'd put them to bed by 8. Chris showed you what to do. Make sure they go potty before they go to bed and Celeste gets a diaper." McKenna ensured this would all occur. Shanann searched Google for the score of the Rockies game, as well as what time the Rockies game gets over. Watts told Jeremy, who's his friend, that he would be home in 20 minutes. Having concluded her evening tryst with Watts, Kessinger searched the internet, and this is what this whole live stream is about. So they have sex before Lazy Dog and after Lazy Dog, and then as soon as he leaves, she searches the internet for Chris Watts, Shanann Watts, Ronnie Watts, and their address, 2825 Saratoga Trail. So it goes on to talk more about the dinner, and this is where Shanann finds a receipt of how much he spent. All this stuff we kind of went over in that previous live stream, so I won't reread it. But I will play Frank Sr.'s little clip. This comes straight from my Watts documentary, just him talking about her discovering how much he spent at the Lazy Dog and that whole thing.
They had a suspicion that he may have been cheating on her because she had come home when he went. She was gone Saturday he was going to a baseball game. And it was, I caught that kind of odd because he never leaves the kids with somebody else if Shannon's not there. He's usually always home. And she checked her finances on the phone and found out he spent $60-something for dinner. And he said, "Yeah, I went out and had salmon and a couple of beers."
Nikki just wanted, she wanted what she wanted. She wanted to do it pretty much all the time. I was like, okay, that's not me. With Shanann, it was like, hey, if I'm happens and I'm good. But that wasn't the case as far as that way. It wasn't just like sex or whatnot. But it was me. I would just want myself. I could just not think about what I was going to say or plan what I was going to say or not, say something stupid or something.
All right. So why exactly is she Googling Chris and Shanann and Ronnie and the address as soon as he leaves her house? I will never understand it. And I'm open to your guys' theories. Okay, so we've gone through that. There is another page in the discovery that I wanted to read through. This is CBI. Nichol recalled Chris never told her about his bankruptcy. Nichol could not think of any answer for why Chris would have hurt his children. The only thing she could think of was that the kids may have seen him killing Shanann, so he chose to kill them as well. She said Chris loved his children. I inquired with Nichol about her friend Charlotte. A text message was located between Charlotte and Nichol that appeared to reference Nichol dating another person. Charlotte is engaged and is her closest friend. Nichol said she never dated any other person, and Chris would have no reason to think she was dating anyone else. And then And yet he talks about how she told him, and she wrote in her notes too, that she told him that she was stood up by guys on this dating website. She said Chris was never jealous about her seeing anyone else. She said she talked with other men on eHarmony, but never had dated any of them. Then scrolling down, Chris was always more into her than she was into him. So do you guys believe that? Because I really think that he says that she pursued him. She kind of admits to pursuing him. Chris and Nichol had discussed long-term plans. She asked him if he did not have the big house, what would his house look like? Chris said he would have a smaller ranch house. They agreed to have more of a simple life. Chris and Nichol talked about marriage off and on. These were not deep conversations. She first met him in May or early June. So she claims that she met him in May or early June. Anthony Brown, the co-worker, who we never caught him in any contradictions or lies, says he saw them close flirting at work and then heard that that was Chris's girlfriend in April. Chris has worked for Anadarko for 4 to 6 years, and he did supervise people. Chris never complained of any medical issues. Nichol never thought he had any mental or psychological issues. Idiot. Nichol does not believe Chris was dating anyone else. Their relationship was sexual shortly after they met and remained sexual consistently. Chris has sent her photos of his penis and other workout photos. Chris and Nichol were last intimate at her home Saturday, August 11th, 2018. They were intimate when Chris picked her up prior to going to the Lazy Dog and immediately following getting back to her home from the Lazy Dog restaurant. Chris mentioned that Shanann never let him openly communicate. Nichol knew of no other stressors other than finances. Chris mainly complained that Shanann would never listen to him. Chris also said Shanann would talk shit to him in front of his children, and the children were starting to repeat it. Chris said he tried to talk and asked Shanann for something, and she said, shut up, and he did not know anything. His children started to repeat this, and it made Chris very sad, and this is when he realized he needed to separate from her. Chris always told Nichol Shanann was a good mom. There was no indication of any abuse or any other concern. And these are notes written by Kobach. All right, so this next part that I want to share is from our dear friend, C-Dub, her channel. She was a local to Colorado. It's a few years old. And she just kind of lays out her research on the multiple locations, etc. So the Lazy Dog, there's no sound to it, but I'll just narrate it. So they show the map, of course. Stop number 1, where she didn't like the menu. This is that place. This is according to C-Dub's research, and I trust her research. So this is what that place looked like. Just to give you guys a little idea. So this is where they ended up, allegedly. We have no CCTV footage or the receipt. That's what this place looks like. Now, we went through the supplemental reports about the Lazy Dog on the previous live, and yeah, they have no CCTV footage. And they showed up to the wrong one first. So this is the one that they showed up to, and it was the wrong one. So law enforcement's all over the place trying to track this stuff down. So the daycare they went to is just a half mile away as well. This is the daycare. So half a mile away from the Lazy Dog. And yes, it is sort of confusing. All right, guys, let's just chit chat for a little bit. Is Lazy Dog a chain only in Denver area or everywhere else? I've heard it's other places as well. So we went, when this first broke, we called both Lazy Dog places. What they did have different menus. So one is called the Lazy Dog, the other one was called the Lazy Dog Bar and Grill. They did in fact have different menus. So when NK says she didn't like their menu, I mean, I don't think that that's why they left, but it did come out in our research that it showed they did have different menus. Let's see what else you guys are asking. But it was proven they were there because Shanann tracked down what Chris said he ate. It showed on her back app. Yes, so they definitely went there because that's how she found it on her bank report. So give me a second. I can pull up that page again. Okay, so like Frank stated, she's seen the notification through their bank, the like digital online banking, that he spent $60 on dinner. So it says how she came to learn so quickly of Watts's dinner expense is not reflected in the phone, but I suspect an alert from her bank or credit card company. Watts called Shanann and held a 3-minute conversation immediately afterwards. And she texted Watts saying, "Oh, save your receipt so we can write it off." So she wanted to see, and where is that receipt? Of course, he didn't save it. So, Marco, you would have to go back through our playlist. Let me see if I can find that live stream. We read the supplemental report right from the discovery. So I don't want to like misquote it, especially when we've already gone through it. But I will say the name of the live stream is, hold on, I'm looking through. Let me share my screen. Because again, we did kind of highlight that whole issue. Chris Watts wishes he never went to the Lazy Dog on August 11th. Why? And this is afterwards, he tells his dad, "I should have gone to that game that night." I believe he told a friend that as well. So that was 6 months ago. In that live stream, it's an hour and a half. We go through the supplemental report of the officers going to the wrong Lazy Dog and then going to the right one and not being able to get camera footage of them or the receipt. So definitely, if you want more accurate, like without me guessing, trying to remember, that is all there. I would sell my house to afford this case to be reopened. I know 100% NK was involved in some way, shape, or form. I'm that confident. Definitely. It's very frustrating that we all kind of feel that. Yeah, everyone was just so lost. And it's like, were they, or is this just being spun that way in the discovery files? Like, I'm sorry, I just don't trust CBI. I really don't. I know. And it's like, did they do a poor job, Melanie? Because now I'm just feeling like, or were things kind of being made to seem that way? And when really they're just covering things up. Exactly. There definitely would have been CCTV footage. But they are definitely there, according to the bank records. Threatened. A lot of people think that as well. But the DA is smarter than thousands of people. Right. And anyone who's been following this case, you guys know that there's been people who say, so you guys just know more than law enforcement then. It's like, well, something's not adding up. They zeroed in on Chris pretty fast. Chris definitely is involved. So that's good that they zeroed in on him. But I think that things were incomplete. Yeah, it's got to be they're extremely dumb and we could all work for CBI. Yeah, that Tammy has straight up said they closed it too soon. Manipulations everywhere on the part of the perpetrators, law enforcement, DA's office, Chris, Nichol, the list goes on. No, we just don't have any reason to not report the facts. Right. Why is she looking the address up, Chris up, Shanann up, Ronnie Watts up after they go out on this date? Makes zero sense. Unfortunately, this is just another live stream in the case that we have that all I can do is just ask your guys' opinion why, because I just don't know. But guys, I have to call it a night. That's all I really had to say in reference to, you know, her looking Shanann up after they were intimate together. That's been shown to be true. People need to kind of question things like that in this case. Let me know your thoughts in chat real quick. Why you think that took place? Why was she looking them up after they had that night together? And Kay manhandled Kevin and he shit the bed with nailing her to the cross. And I wonder if it's a situation where like we've all kind of criticized Kobach, but were his hands tied? Like, was he told to back off from her? This was a national case, blew up fast. Colorado didn't want the publicity, closed the case too fast. Yeah, and the oil company being involved has a lot to do with that. James says no clue. I mean, yeah, who knows? Good question. She likes detail. It enables her fantasies to feel real. She was already planning things out. She was and probably still is obsessed. I think the Watts all knew about Oxycontin. She's a nosy bitch. Yep. Thank you, Derek and Jay and everyone who donated and hit the like button. I really appreciate you being here. Amanda says, I still have no idea, but I think she looked up Shanann to see if she had any new Facebook posts. She was just obsessed, right? At first, he seemed determined, but then he faded away. Yes. In the first interview where they're sitting in the, well, technically it's her second interview, but first with CBI, with the father, they were kind of going in at her a little bit. Rourke controlled everyone and everything, in my opinion. Yes. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Again, next week we'll do another Thursday night deep dive into the Watts case, and that'll be our last one while I go away on maternity leave. So appreciate you guys chit-chatting and the mods and members and donators, anyone who hit the like button, and we will talk very soon. Tomorrow night we'll be talking Gypsy Rose. So if you want to talk other cases, I'm live at 8 o'clock around that time, p.m. weekly. So join me, and then I'll see you guys all later. I just thought she wanted Shanann's life. I think that has a lot to do with it too. Where did she work in 2017? She owned that LLC private company, Satya, Satya, I think it was. But where she was actually working, does anyone have the answer to that? She did work in the oil industry for a while, but not Anadarko until April. Did Anadarko contribute to district attorneys running in November then? Oh yeah, we've already linked big oil to DA Rourke. 100%. All right, guys, good night, and thank you all for being here. And thank you, Zawoki, for donating as well. See you guys later.